Picture a garden, not just any garden, but Eden, lush, vibrant, overflowing with life. Adam and Eve, the first humans, lived here in perfect harmony with God. Can you imagine it? Days filled with joy, nights illuminated by the Father's love. No pain, no fear, only pure, unadulterated bliss. This was their reality, a gift from the Creator himself. But paradise had a serpent. A cunning creature full of deceit slithered through the trees. He whispered doubts into Eve's heart. He questioned God's goodness, twisted his words, and planted seeds of discontent.
Did God really say you couldn't eat from any tree?
He hissed, his voice dripping with false concern. Eve, taken in by his charm, pointed to the tree in the middle of the garden, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. God had forbidden them to eat from it, warning that doing so would bring death. The serpent chuckled, a chilling sound that echoed through the stillness.
You won't die. God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil.
The fruit, so tempting, so alluring, hung heavy on the branches. Eve stared at it, her heart pounding in her chest. The serpent's words echoed in her mind. You will be like God. Desire warred with obedience. In that moment the choice seemed clear. To eat was to know, to become like the Almighty himself. She reached out, plucked the fruit, and took a bite. The sweetness exploded on her tongue, but it was quickly followed by a bitter aftertaste. She offered the fruit to Adam, who stood beside her, his face etched with concern. He knew it was wrong, yet he too gave in to the temptation. In that instant the world shifted. Innocence shattered like glass, leaving behind jagged shards of shame and fear. The consequences were immediate. Their eyes were opened, but not to the wisdom they had craved. Instead, they saw their nakedness and felt a wave of shame wash over them. Where once there was only love and trust, fear now took root. They heard God walking in the garden and hid themselves, their hearts pounding like drums in their chests. God called out to them, his voice filled with sorrow. Where are you? He knew what they had done. To the serpent, God declared, I will put hostility between you and the woman, and between your offspring and her offspring. He will strike your head, and you will strike his heel. The consequences of their disobedience were severe. Pain entered their world, a constant reminder of their sin. The ground was cursed, bringing forth thorns and thistles. And finally, they were banished from the paradise they had known, forced to toil and struggle in a world now tainted by their choice. A glimmer of hope, judgment and promise. God's judgment was swift and sure, yet even in his anger there was love.
And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers. He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel.
As he pronounced the serpent's fate, he offered a glimmer of hope. This verse, Genesis 3:15, is a beacon of light in the darkness of the fall. It's a promise, a prophecy, that one day evil will be defeated. A descendant of Eve would rise up and crush the serpent's head, bringing an end to the reign of sin and death. The seed of redemption, our hope in Christ. This promise, my friends, finds its fulfillment in Jesus Christ. He is the offspring of Eve, the one who came to conquer sin and death. Through his sacrifice on the cross, he paid the price for our disobedience, bridging the gap between us and a holy God. Though we still live in a fallen world, bearing the consequences of that first sin, we do not despair. We have hope, a hope that transcends the pain of this life, a hope rooted in the promise of a future where sin and death will be no more. This is the hope we hold on to, the hope in Christ. Till next time, friends, God be with you.